Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rachel. If you happen to have a blanket or a towel, if we're a little bit of a heart opener, a back bend, assisted supported back bend, you can get that. And if you don't have that available, you can always use a block. I have both a cork block and a foam block. I highly recommend a foam block just because the cork blocks get to be pretty it can be pretty intense sometimes, especially if we're really sore. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yesterday, I had the awesome privilege to go shark cage diving, and I have three children, and we had them create little bucket lists of what they wanted to do this summer, especially because this whole last year with COVID, they didn't get to do a lot of the things they wanted to do. And so one of them wanted to do shark cage diving. I have our whole entire family is very, very respectful of sharks, whether it's on the verge of complete utter respect or complete utter fear. I'm not sure. There's a nice little balance there. And we did it yesterday. There's several tour guides out of the North Shore on the island, and we just kind of I don't want to say blindly picked. I kind of went with whoever is cheapest, and it was completely worth it just for the boat ride. Just the boat ride out there. Normally, we'll paddle out, maybe not that far. When my partner and I paddle out, it's usually quarter mile to half mile, and then we'll go down the shore. But this was about 2 to 3 miles out, and the water was really still, super glassy, clear, not very windy, and just absolutely beautiful. The North Shore. In the morning, I saw clouds coming in, and I was a little bit worried that, oh, it's going to be really cold. Oh, it might rain on us. But the clouds just kind of parted. And as we went out there, it was beautiful. The cage, they take out every morning. There's people that go crabbing out there, and they'll put their crab cages out. And so they strategically place the cage in between crab cages because sharks, I did not know because I haven't done my research, are more like scavenger, a little bit more lazy hunters, apparently. That's what I was told. I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist. And and so if things fall, or if, crabbers or fishermen just throw things overboard, oh, they'll of course come and grab this craps. Um, so the boat parks up to the cage and ties up to it, and then all we do is climb in. There's only our party, which was amazing. There were 6 of us as one of our kids brought a friend, and we went down. They had snorkels. One of, my children said, "Absolutely not," and stayed on board the whole time, which was completely fine because it was that clear that you could just stand on the boat looking over shore, and you could see them really, really well. Scary well. I've never seen, um, sharks like that other than in an aquarium, um, and I had that, plexiglass between us. Um, pretty amazing. We only saw Galapagos sharks. I thought it was, really, really curious to see how they were very curious, um, and there's nothing aggressive. They just were checking out like, "Oh, what's going on with the cage?" And when the boat got out there, we saw for sure 7, but they were literally like circling and kind of going under the boat. Well, obviously under the boat, but it was just really, really an amazing experience. For me, the water was a little bit too cold, so I did not stay in very long. But um, but the one who did have it on her bucket list, she stayed in the entire time. We had brought our GoPro, we brought our underwater camera, and she was in absolute heaven. So I think it's a kind of a beautiful thing to see that as people, we all have our interests, and yeah, hers was to go experience being literally a foot away from a shark. We are not supposed to reach our arms through the bars just in case. Like, that's how close they were, that you could literally touch them. But out of respect for nature, we don't do that. Um, and yeah, it was just amazing. And there was this big bird, I cannot remember the name of it, that came down and it had a fish in its beak or talons. I can't remember because I was looking at the sharks, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh, there's a really big bird overhead. It dropped its fish, and that was when I was very thankful I was actually above water, and the sharks got aggressive. Nothing crazy, not Jaws like, don't worry, it wasn't like that, but they definitely were trying to come and take they were excited, and one of them, I don't know which one, took the fish, but it was interesting because you could see on their fins, and again, I'm not a marine biologist, and I don't have a deep interest that they're not really my passion, to see, like, little cuts, on their fins, especially that top fin. I wanna say that's a dorsal fin, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But they're top fin, and you could see little cuts on some of them, and then, of course, little parasites of some kind that were attached to them as well, but just absolutely beautiful. I did not know this. The One of the crew members told us that, if you get in the water, if you're free diving, what they do, and she was a larger person. When I say larger, tall person, and, so when she gets in the water, her size alone makes them think that she's a predator, and I was like, "Oh." And so our family, who's quite short, um, we're not that impressively tall, so we would need to make sure that we give off the impression that we're a predator versus prey. And she told me, and I'm curious if I can do this on the video. So if they're gliding, their side fins. That's how scientific I'm getting. Side fins are go straight out, and they're just if they're floating around like this, they're just curious and happy. When their fins, oh, my fins aren't going down. Say my elbow. Oh no, we'll try this. When the fins go down, that's when that means that they're aggressive and feeling nervous, and they're on edge. And I told her, I was like, "I hope I never experience that." Um, but yeah, it was pretty amazing. Another initial thing, if you're free diving or you're scuba diving, specifically looking for sharks, such as we were, the initial reaction when you get in is that they will charge you kind of just to test who is the alpha, and you don't have to do anything aggressive, so she said, except you do just have to make your stance, and so, um, I think the most she's had to do is extend an arm to make sure that they know, like, "Stop," or because she'll be wearing fins, that she would use her fins to kind of, like, fan them away, just to say, "Nothing to see here. I'm just like you." Anyways, happy Father's Day for those of you that are fathers, and I hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. We are going to get started. My name is Rachel. I'm a sub for you today. Go ahead, find a nice, comfortable seated position for a moment and allow yourself to connect with your breath. Whether you're sitting on a prop in a chair, closing the eyes if it feels good. This live stream is courtesy of Comeback Yoga, and it's gentle yoga and meditation. Feeling the ground below us, the air around us, the breath within us. With every exhale, releasing what no longer serves you. One more breath. If your eyes are closed, I invite you to gently blink them open. If you have that blanket or towel or that block, I ask that you get that. And again, only as an option for an assisted back bend. If you have a block, you'll take the block and place it directly behind your heart and then begin to lower down. If you have a blanket, you have two options. You can place it at the base of your spine and then snuggle it up close to your glutes and then allow yourself to walk down. Or you can fold it up so it's under your heart, again, similar to the block. The legs can be either fully extended out in a butterfly shape where the knees are out and the soles of the feet are together. Or if you'd like, you can take the soles of the feet as wide as the mat and then buckle the knees towards the midline. Noticing how this feels. And again, you have the option to lay completely on your back as well. Again, bringing attention to the breath. Seeing if we can deepen the breath just a little bit more. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed. Staying here for one more breath. And then we're going to gently roll over to the side. Now, if we have props under us, being very mindful, it might take a little bit of extra finesse, and that's okay. Placing the block and the other props off to the side. Coming to fetal position. Noticing how that momentary heart opener felt. And then we'll use our hands to help press us up, again, to a seated position. I'm going to take my feet about hips distance or a little bit more than hips distance apart, and then allow the knees to gently make it to the right. They're in a triangle shape right now, allowing that right sole of the foot to come to that right thigh, and then allowing that back foot to create a similar triangle. If our legs and knees don't agree with it, we're making about that approximate shape. Let's rotate towards the right and then begin to walk our hands down. Hands can be under the shoulders. Let the spine lengthen. Notice how it feels on the low back. Allow the chin to tuck towards the chest. Let's gaze over the right shoulder. And return the gaze down to center. Gaze over the left shoulder. Return that gaze to center. If you would like, you can stay here or come down onto the forearms. Notice how that feels on the right hip point. If you're not feeling much sensation there, it means that you have a little bit looser hips. If you're feeling a lot of sensation, it just means we have a little bit tighter hips. Staying here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently help yourself up. I'm going to rotate the knees to the sky and then allow them to go the opposite direction to the left. Creating little triangles. Left sole of the foot to the right thigh, back leg is triangular, rotating towards the left. Hands under the shoulders for support, spine nice and long. Notice how this feels. There is a little bit of a twist and rotation of the spine. If you'd like to stay up high, you're welcome to do so, or begin to lower down onto the forearms. For those of you that are able, you can go all the way down, forehead to the mat as well. Bringing awareness to where the sensation in your body is. Tucking the chin to the chest. Let's gaze over the left shoulder. Return the gaze to center. Gaze over the right shoulder. Then return to center. Allow yourself to breathe here. Noticing how it feels on the left hip point. One more breath here. And then gently rise up. I'm going to bring the knees center and then butterfly the knees. If you need a prop for underneath your hips, that's okay. Go ahead and take that time to adjust. Soles of the feet together, knees nice and wide, hands to the feet, shins or knees. Inhale, pull the heart forward, lift the gaze skyward. Stay here, draw the shoulders back. Notice how that feels. This is similar to how we were before when we were laying down with that prop behind our back. Stay here for one more breath. And on your next exhale, round the spine, chin comes to the chest. Inhale, pull the heart forward, lift the gaze skyward, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, round the spine, chin to the chest. One more time, inhale, pull the heart forward, draw the shoulders back, gaze lifts skyward. Exhale, round the spine, chin towards the chest. Inhale to a neutral spine. Exhale, hands behind us for support. Inhale, pull the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale to release. 2 more times. Inhale, pull the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale to release. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, pull the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale to release. Allow yourself to come upright. We're going to take those feet nice and wide, wider than our hips, soles down, knees bent. This time, let's let them go to the left. You have the option to make triangles again, or we're coming into a 90-90. 90-90 is when my left knee is in line with my left hip, ankle is in line with the knee, and then I flex the foot. Same thing with the back hip. Right hip in line with the right knee, ankle in line with the knee, flexing that foot. And again, it's about an approximation. It doesn't have to have everything perfect, but it's a 90-90 because we've got those right angles. Allow your hands to come forward. Staying here, if this feels intense, I already feel the sensation in that left hip, or you can come further down. If you have a block, it would be nice to be able to rest your head on the block to allow for grounding. For those of you that would like, you can have your hands come together in prayer, and the thumbs can come right to that area where the bridge of the nose and the eyebrow line meet, and you can allow your head to rest on your thumbs there. Stay here to breathe for 5, wherever you are. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Use your hands to help you up. Knees come skyward. We're gonna go the other way. When I always go the other way, I transition on my mat. It's okay. You can always readjust. You have that freedom to do so. Finding that 90-90 degree angle, flexing the feet, rotating, hands under you for support. Again, this can be very intense right here. Stay where it feels comfortable. We're always looking for sensation and never that pain. Allow yourself to come down further if you'd prefer. Remember, you can use a block to support your head, or thumbs can come to where the bridge and the eye socket meet, and you can rest your head there. Noticing if this feels similar or different to the other side. Staying here for one more breath. Removing that block, releasing the hands coming under the shoulders, gently allowing yourself to press up, knees coming skyward once again. Let's butterfly those knees. Hands by your sides. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. Feel that nice even reach on each side of the torso. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's interlace the fingers, stretch those arms out, the palms face away, round the spine, chin to the chest. On your next exhale, release the hands, interlace them behind the back. Or if that doesn't feel good on the shoulders, allow the palms to face towards each other. Allow the chest to gently pull open. Stay here for one more breath. On your next exhale, release the hands, hands to the outside of your hips. Planting the right hand, inhale, left hand up and over. Right hand can walk out as far as feels good. It's natural for that left hip to come up. That's okay. Stay here for one more breath. On the next inhale, lift the gaze skyward. Exhale to lower the gaze. Two more times. Inhale, lift the gaze skyward. Exhale, lower the gaze. One more time. Inhale, lift the gaze skyward. Exhale, lower the gaze. Gently allow yourself to come upright, however that is this morning. Taking that left hand, walking it out. Right hand reaches up and over. Again, it's natural and normal for that opposite hip to come out, up off the mat. Walk that left hand out as far as feels comfortable. When you found your position, inhale, lift the gaze up skyward. Exhale to lower the gaze. Two more times. Inhale, lift the gaze up skyward. Exhale, lower the gaze. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And gently make your way upright. We're transitioning into tabletop position. So if you'd like to grab a blanket for your knees, you're welcome to, or a towel. If you like to tuck your toes, I do that because I have a grumpy knee. If you'd like the tops of your feet down, that is welcome too. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Let the spine be in neutral, the gaze down towards the mat. On the next exhale, round the spine. Let the tail and head go down towards the mat. Inhale to release the belly, tail and head to the sky. We'll do that two more times. Exhale, round. Inhale to release. Exhale, round the spine, tail and head towards the mat. Inhale, release the belly, tail and head to the sky. Stay here in this position. And then gently neutralize the spine. Extend the arms out in front of us, melt the heart down, puppy pose. Whether the heart is melted, whether it's lifted high, whether the forehead touches to the mat or the chin, what matters is that we feel sensation in the upper back. Stay here for one more breath. On your next inhale, gently roll forward, set up for Sphinx pose, coming onto your belly. Walk those legs back. The feet are about hips distance apart. Tops of the feet ground down. Forearms are parallel to each other, and the elbows are either directly under the shoulders or slightly in front. Fingertips spread wide. Inhale, pull the heart forward, draw the shoulders back, lift the gaze skyward. Exhale to release, relaxing fully. Chin might come towards the chest. Let's do that again. Inhale, pull the heart forward, Sphinx pose. Feel the opening of the mid back. Exhale to release. One more time. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Pull the heart forward, lift the gaze skyward. Exhale to release. Allow yourself to come all the way down. Stacking the hands, allowing forehead to the back of the hands. Gently swish the hips side to side or bend the knees and allow the feet to go side to side. Stay here wherever you are for one more breath. And then gently begin to lift up after finding your stillness. Roll to one side, right or left, your choice. Bottom arm can be used as a prop, or you can be fully down. If you need a strap, grab a strap. We're going to come into a quad stretch here, bending that top leg. That top hand reaches back for the foot or ankle. Keep the knees in alignment. If you'd like, you can flex that bottom foot. Heel towards the glute here. Staying to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay here in this passive stretch, or allow yourself to gently draw the foot away from the glute, and the hand gently brings it back, finding this very, very small contraction. When I say small contraction, I'm talking like 1 to 2%. Stay here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Let's roll onto your belly. Set up for Sphinx pose again. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to release. 2 more times. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to release. 1 more time. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to release. Roll to your other side. Quad stretch on the other side. Allowing bottom hand to support you however you need. Top leg bends, heel towards the glute. Bring awareness to that lower leg if you would like. Flexing the foot. Knees in line with each other. Passive heel towards the glute, stretching the quad, the front of the thigh. Staying here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option to stay here or find that active range. Gently pressing the foot away, hand slightly resisting that tiny 1 to 2% contraction. Staying here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release that foot or the strap, rolling onto your belly once again. We're going to take our feet taking our arms nice and wide, wider than our shoulders, so our wrists are over our elbows, light on the fingertips. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to lower down. Similar to a cobra position, it's as if we're letting the heart shine. Inhale, lift up the heart, let it shine. Exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale, lower the right shoulder. Inhale, lift center. Exhale, lower the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower center. Hands under the shoulders, light on the fingers. Inhale, lift cobra pose, let the heart shine. Exhale to lower down. It's your choice how high or how low you go. We'll do that two more times. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale to lower. Last time, inhale, cobra pose. Exhale to lower. This time, I invite you to press back to child's pose, drawing the hips by the heels, knees together or apart, hands forward or back. The spine nice and long, head can be floating, it can be on a block, or it can be resting on the mat. Allow yourself to breathe here, noticing how this feels, taking a moment to notice how the body feels. One more breath here. For those of you with your hands by your feet, I invite you to bring your hands forward towards the top of the mat. Allow yourself to lift up onto the fingertips, palms and elbows lifted. Stay here to breathe. Notice that activation through the arms. On your next exhale, whenever that is, gently release the hands down. Inhale, round up into tabletop position. And allow yourself to either take that traditional cat-cow that we did at the beginning, rounding the spine and then releasing, or take the time to allow yourself to move the hips, allow yourself to do belly rolls, rolling the belly, or enjoying your stillness. Stay here and breathe one more breath. And then we'll find our stillness. Walking the hands towards the knees, everyone will tuck their toes. Gently come upright. Again, if you need a blanket for your knees, that's perfectly fine. Let's bring that right foot forward. The right foot is under the knee. If at all possible, it's a little bit easier if you take the back of the top of the back foot down. But again, my knee doesn't really care for that position, so I'll keep my toes tucked. Bring awareness to the low body and then scissor the legs together. So imagine, without moving anything, drawing that front foot back and this back knee and foot forward. You can feel that low body engagement already. Let's try to keep that low body engagement as we lift those hands up to the sky. Exhale, bend the right elbow, pat your back. Let's add a tricep stretch. So that left hand can assist by holding here. Stay here to breathe. See if we can tuck those bottom ribs in. They have a tendency to want to flare to create a back bend. The other tendency we often have is to allow that chin to drop down and forward. Rather, see if we can keep those bottom ribs tucked in. See if we can keep the chin lifted and the head drawn back. If it's in your practice to take a bind, you're welcome to take a bind at this time with or without a strap. Stay here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale to release those hands. Hands come to each side of the forward foot. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to release. Plant the hands, draw that right knee back to meet the left. Inhale here. Exhale, draw back to child's pose. Hands forward or back, your choice, your practice. Remember, everything I say is only a mere suggestion. And if it doesn't feel good in the body, we're not doing it. Allow yourself to notice where the breath flows, or if we feel it more in the front body or the back body. One more breath here. On your next inhale, round the spine, make your way to tabletop position, and then neutralize the spine. Left foot's going to come forward, keeping that back knee down. Allow yourself to come upright. We're bringing awareness to the low body once again. Press down through that forward foot. Press down through that back knee, shin, foot, or toes. Then scissor everything together so it's coming together. We feel that low body engagement once again. Notice how this feels. Hands by our hips. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. This time, exhale, bend the left elbow, pat your back. We're coming into that tricep stretch. Right hand can assist, or we can take a bind if that's in our practice, with or without a strap. Make sure that we're still aware through the low body. How are we doing with our upper body? Did we naturally go into that flared position, or are we able to keep those ribs tucked? And remember, there's no such thing as anything imperfect or anything perfect in yoga. It's bringing that intention. Subconsciously, we might just naturally tuck that chin as well. See if we can have that chin be a little more upright and draw the head back. Continue to breathe here. Notice how the body feels. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Hands to each side of that forward foot. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale to release. Left knee towards the right. Tabletop position here. You have the option to go to child's pose or puppy pose. So child's pose brings the hips back. Puppy pose, we walk the hands forward and then lower the heart down. Either one, perfectly fine. Staying here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's all meet back in tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to do something a little bit different. You may need to have a blanket under your knees, so you might want to watch first. I'm going to turn to the long edge of my mat. Although if we're on our mat, the thing here that's a little tricky is that it's a mat and it doesn't allow us to move easily. But this is just for demonstration's sake, for everyone can see. So I'm going to continue to walk my knees out. My knees are in line with my hips. And then allow them to spread as far as feels comfortable. The weight is really in my hands supporting me. Then I'm going to look at my ankles and have them in line with my knees and then flex my feet. If this feels too intense for you, you can point the toes and have them come towards each other in the back. So in this position, either here or here, you can begin to lower yourself down to the forearms. Remember, the weight is mostly in the hands and forearms at this point. You'll feel the stretch in the inner thighs. Stay here to breathe. It might be very intense, so only go as far as feels comfortable for you. Stay here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now here's the very careful and special part. Keep the weight in your hands or forearms. Help yourself up. Make sure you have all that weight in your hands and then gently bring the knees in one at a time. There you go. Nice job. On your next exhale, draw back into child's pose or that puppy pose. Either hands come forward, heart melts down, or child's pose. Any variation, knees together or apart, hands forward or back. Noticing how the breath feels. And then we'll all meet in tabletop position. This time, let's bring that left foot forward and come upright. Again, use that blanket for your knees if you'd like. Inhale, reach up those hands skyward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Both hands are going to interlace behind your head. Draw the elbows back. This time, we're allowing those ribs to flare out, those low ribs to flare out, creating a little bit of a back bend. The head is supported by those interlaced hands. Draw the elbows back. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together just a little bit. Stay here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale to release the hands back down to the mat. Let's let that right hand plant. Inhale, left hand skyward. Feel that nice rotation here. You have the option to stay here, gaze wherever you'd like. Or on your next exhale, we'll lower that top hand down towards the mat. Inhale to reach back up. 2 more times, either static or having that nice little range of motion. Your choice, your practice. Last time. And we'll all return both hands down to the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, stay here. Gently walk the left foot out to the long edge of your mat. So both hands are on the inside of the left foot. We can stay here, or we can begin to lower down. Notice how this feels. Normally, when we come into this lizard pose, we have a much bigger stance and we'll go forward. But this is a shallower stance. If this bothers you, you always have that permission to take that step forward, lowering the hips, coming down either to the hands, the blocks, or the forearms. Wherever you choose this morning, noticing how that feels. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently help yourself upright and return to tabletop position. We're going to come to the other side. Right foot comes forward, and then make your way upright. Hands reach up towards the sky. Exhale, interlace those fingers behind the head. Draw the elbows back. It's okay if those bottom ribs are flaring. We're supporting our head. The head can press into the hands. We're creating a little back bend. Staying here to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale to release the hands to each side of the foot. Left hand plants. Inhale, right hand to the sky. We can stay here, feeling that nice rotation of the spine, or you can exhale, lower the hand. Inhale to reach up to the sky. 2 more times if you're letting that rotation flow. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up. 1 more time. Exhale, lower. Inhale to reach up. On your next exhale, we'll all lower that top hand down, walking the right foot to the long edge of the mat. Remember this lizard pose? It was either really short, hands under the shoulders, hands to blocks, or forearms to the mat. Or if you prefer, walking that right foot forward and then hands under the shoulders. Hands can be on blocks, forearms can be on blocks, or forearms down to the mat. Noticing how you feel. Taking the time to notice, is it similar or different to the other side? Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming upright to tabletop position, taking your time. And then let's tuck the toes. Remember, if you need that blanket for your knees, that's fine. Allow yourself to drop the hips towards the heels, stretching out the soles of your feet. This might feel really intense. So if it is, we just lift the hips up. Stay here to breathe. One more breath. And then allow ourselves to come into tabletop position again. This time, untuck the toes, tops of the feet down to the mat. Gently tap out the tops of the feet to the mat. And then find your stillness. Bringing awareness to the right sole of the foot. We're going to take the left ankle, the top of the left ankle, and slide it into the arch of the right foot. So, again, the right top of the foot is down on the mat. The top of the left ankle is now in the arch, and we're going to lean back and allow your left ankle to rest on the arch of the right foot. Notice how that compression feels. Again, if this is really intense, we lift up with our hips. Okay. If you want more intensity, our hips are going straight down. Stay here to breathe. One more breath. And then gently release forward, tabletop position. Going to the other side, left top of the foot down to the mat. We're sliding right top of the foot into the arch of the left foot. Walking the hands back and then lowering down. So just the opposite of what we did earlier. My left foot, the top is completely down. I just slid the top of my right ankle into the left arch of the foot. And then I'm allowing my body weight to press down to create a nice compression. Staying here to breathe again. If it's too intense, lifting your weight up a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release forward. Let's tuck the toes, walk the hands back, making our way to toe stand. So our heels are lifted. Our knees are up off the mat, and we can hold on to the ground. We can hold on to blocks. We can hold on to a wall or a chair. And if it feels okay, maybe the hands come to the heart. Stay here for a few moments. Notice how this feels for your balance. One more breath. On your next exhale, let's release the hands. Inhale, lift up those hips, lower the heels. We're coming into a forward fold. If we need to separate the feet a little wider, that's fine. Remember, you can bend your knees a little bit too, or use blocks to bring the ground a little closer to you. There's nothing to see up on the screen, so allow the head to be heavy, gently nodding the head yes, and then shaking the head no. Stay here for one more breath. And then gently make your way upright. Doesn't matter how we go upright. We're at the back of the mat. Find a nice, comfortable hips distance apart. Hands can be by your sides. For those of you that have a hard time with balance, you can hold on to the wall or come off your mat, especially if you're at home and you're on a rug. This will be more challenging. Eyes closed to make it even more challenging, or eyes lifted skyward. On your next inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale to lower the heels. It doesn't matter how high it goes. We're just bringing that intention to the lift. Inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. One more time. Inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. Notice how your feet feel and are. We're going to take that right foot in front of the left, either heel to toe on a tightrope or create a little bit more space if our balance is a little bit more challenged. Again, looking upward or closing the eyes if you'd like to make this more challenging, and holding a chair or the wall is completely fine too. Inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. Two more times. Inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Gently undo the legs. Opposite leg now goes in front. Either tightrope, heel to toe, a little bit of space, or a little bit wider if balance is a challenge today. Wherever you are, inhale, lift, heels. Exhale to lower. Two more times. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. One more time. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. Gently undo the feet. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Hands by the hips. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Releasing the hands. Feet come wider than hips, distance apart. Toes out, heels in, come down into a malasana, a low squat. Low squats can look like they're up high, hands can be supporting you, or they can be way down low. Staying here for one more breath. And then gently allowing yourself to come down to your seat. So I know you're at the back of your mat. If you're coming down to your seat, you'll want to come and scoot towards the middle of your mat if you'd like to stay on your mat. Allowing the legs to extend forward, we'll roll back down. This is your opportunity to have that back or heart opener if you'd like, either with the blanket or towel or with the block. And if you didn't care for either of those positions, you're also welcome to just come all the way down. I'm gonna butterfly my knees because that's my preference. But again, you have the option to extend the legs long, to take the feet wide and let the knees buckle. Hands can be at the body, out to the side, wherever feels good and natural to you. Noticing how your breath is flowing this morning. Closing the eyes if it feels safe and natural to do. Noticing the rise of the breath, where it goes, whether it's the top half of the torso, the lower half of the torso, or the right or left side. Same thing with the exhale. Whenever you're exhaling, noticing if it's more in the top half of the torso, the lower half torso, or right or left side. Seeing if we can find any way to make us relax just a little bit more. I'll be extending my legs out in a very simple heart opener, simple back bend right now. With every inhale, breathing into any areas of tension. With every exhale, releasing to sigh out your mouth what no longer serves us. Bring awareness to where our heels are touching. Bringing awareness to where our calves are. Moving up the body. Bringing awareness to our hips. Noticing the natural arch of the low back. And how it descends behind your heart, even though some of us are in a back bend. Noticing the rise and fall of our breath within the torso. The area where our shoulders or shoulder blades are able to touch or not touch if they're floating due to a block being behind your heart. Noticing your hands, whether it's palms face down or backs of the hands to the mat. The sensation of where your elbows touch down. Take a moment to notice if our chin is upright towards the sky, if it's tucked towards the chin, or if your head is tilted back slightly. Again, there's no right or wrong, just observing. Noticing the heaviness of the head. And then bringing our awareness back to the breath. Giving yourself permission to take a full body scan from the top of the head, down through the neck, out the arms, down the torso, and through the legs. Allowing yourself to be more aware of your physical body. One more breath here. If this towel or block behind you is becoming burdensome, I invite you to roll to your side and gently remove the prop. Bringing to the forefront of your mind something that brings you joy, whether it's a thing or a person or a place. Allowing that warmth, that love, that joy to begin to permeate not just through the mind, but throughout the entire body. Seeing as we lay here, seeing if we can and fill the body and feel that joy and embody that joy, that happiness. When you feel ready, making your way to your side for fetal position, knowing that you have permission to stay where you are or make your way upright if that feels better. Those of you on props being very mindful, taking a moment to notice how the body feels, not just the physical body, but the mental body and the emotional body. And if that feeling of joy began to dim, bringing that person, place, or thing that brings you joy back to the forefront of your mind. For those of you on your side, invite you to use your hands to help press you up to a comfortable seated position. For those of you still laying down, you're welcome to stay there or help yourself up. Eyes can remain closed, or you have the freedom to blink them open. Noticing how the spine feels being upright once again, the shoulders dropping away from the ears. Hands coming by our sides. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your morning with me. My name is Rachel, and this is courtesy of Comeback Yoga. This is gentle yoga and meditation. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Namaste. Thank you for joining. If you're interested in learning more about little stories, mo'olalos, or little adventures that I do around the islands of Hawaii, you are welcome to log in. I should be beginning Sundays at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is Hawaii, 4 a.m. I will be here starting in July, I believe. But thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing day. Bye.